Hello everybody, welcome back to more of AI War Fleet Command. Beginner walkthrough, level 5 difficulty continues. And we're looking at the galaxy map, of course, because I've marked out some priority numbers here. But we'll get to the newly explored territory in a bit. First of all, I want to deal with a couple things that have recently been brought up with the AI response, the AI waves. One of them, I'm not sure what's going on. We have seen at least one in the early going where the reprisal wave did hit from the turtle AI despite them not normally using waves, but other of reprisal situations we haven't gotten hit by them. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but ultimately it doesn't really matter that much because we're not going to be seeing the turtle AI type, since it's one of the easy ones, after this game. So it's not like it's going to be a long-term thing in future games or anything else. And the other thing is that we've started seeing more Mark II ships on the waves than Mark I. And I think what's going on seems to be the consensus, and if you look at the AI War Wiki, it also seems to imply that, is that it's not a hard threshold. Now if we look at, like, the Tech Level 2 threshold is 250, which would mean we'd start seeing Mark II ships then, but the way it actually seems to work, which again is dynamic and logical, is that you gradually start seeing more as you get partway there. So now at 190, we would expect to see some Mark 1, but mostly Mark 2. At 250 it would be like all Mark 2, and if you figure like if we got to 500, then it would be a mix of Mark 2 and Mark 3 ships, and so on. And one of the things that means is that I'm overdue in upgrading my defenses, because all of my turrets are Mark 1. And if you're talking about high-level strategy, there's a division between players, really, in how useful upgrading your turrets are, and whether you should just focus more on your mobile ships. I think the very best players would tend to favor highly defensive strategy and not spending as much on their ships. In any case, I should do it anyway, I think, to show a couple things. So I'm just going to take a look at our main science lab over here in Quigeo. Alright, here we are. It just so happens that we have just about the right amount to upgrade all of our current turrets. I'm not going to research the new ones of any that we haven't used yet. But my general thinking here is, you know, at the beginning of the game, Mark 1 turrets are okay. Upgrade to Mark 2 to deal with Mark 2 ships, and so on. And they're not that expensive. You can see 500 for the next level of Needler. It's more as you go up. 750 for the laser. Same for MLRS, same for missile turret. Same for the flak. And the lightning turret. Only 500 for the heavy beam cannon, which we're not going to take. 1250 for the sniper, so that's a little bit more expensive. And then of course we haven't done the spider turret or counter dark matter turrets, grav turrets, etc. If we take a look, we're down to less than 1,000, and this is the only active science lab, but it's still got most of Quigeo to finish up, and then also Pohar, the last Mark III planet that we just took. That one we haven't gathered any science from, so we're going to get over 5,000 more. I don't mind taking it down to this, especially for purposes of demonstration here. Now, the way that I like to do this, there's no upgrade turret mechanic in the game. And there's somebody that made a mod for an earlier version of the game. It wasn't updated, it's not compatible with the latest version, etc. So you've actually got to get rid of the old ones and build new ones. And I'm just going to do the sniper ones here because I think it makes a lot of sense to not get rid of all your turrets at once. If you do that, then obviously you're going to be defenseless until you get them back up. So I think taking out one type at a time makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to do this across all my systems off screen. But for now, say we select those, delete, and boom, there they go. We've got to build the new Mark II versions. And let's take a look at the differences between... Well, we've got double the health, 2,000 to 4,000. The attack doubles from 94 to 186. The metal cost is actually the same, all the way up, and energy. So the metal and energy cost is always going to be the same even for the higher capacity one. The point is, you get double the attack, double the health, same on pretty much everything else, so that if you have the better versions, there's really no good reason not to put them out there. The only cost you're doing is the actual cost of rebuilding them and the cost of knowledge to invest. So we'll just set up another 24 of these, which is what we had before we got rid of them. There we go, and I'm just going to unpause, let them go to work. You see the other ones blowing up in between, the engineers going out. And if we zoom in here, we can see, like, you can see the little 1 by these, and now these have the little 2 to indicate Mark II, 2 lines. And I really wish AI War had an upgrade mechanic where maybe you would have to pay a little bit extra to get them, but you would be able to just upgrade your existing ones to the next mark level if you had it unlocked. Unfortunately, that does not appear to be a thing. So we just sort of have to go through and do this. And of course, the earlier you do it, the less you have to put up with that. So at this point, I'm just going to go around, upgrade all of my turrets gradually at all of my systems that we currently have. And then we'll move on to some other things. Meanwhile, let's look around a little bit. Now, first of all, we're going to want to take this system right here. And the reason for that is, take a look at Oreo. That's 1, 2, 3 hops from there. And it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Fanape. And if we went from Usmar or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there as well. And keeping with wine to be within 4 hops, well, this would be 3, and that would be 4. So, I mean, I guess I could just take that one instead. And that actually might be a better idea. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one instead, because I want to take these 2 anyway. So let's just have this sealing it off. And we're going to end up taking this whole cluster here. We've got an advanced research station, so we don't know what we're going to get from that, but we'll get something. And that's, of course, where one of the additional A' CSGs is. Over here, we're going to get the Fighter Mark V. Here we've got a data center and a backup design server and something else. Bullum Boat. So let's take a look in there real quick. And the scout's not here anymore. We can still look around. So that's the data center. Okay. And up here is the backup design server, and the Raider is there. We're going to wait to see if we're going to do that, but at least hit the data center. May not end up taking this system. And this is the troop accelerator. You can see at the bottom, allows the AI to add reinforcements to this planet at double the normal rate. As far as I know, that doesn't take away reinforcements from anywhere else. It just gives them double reinforcements here. So if this was a very powerful planet right nearby us, that would cause us some problems, and maybe we'd want to take it out and incur the 10 AI progress that you get from it. As it is, it's a Mark II planet, so we're not really going to worry about that. And I don't think this automatically blows up. Got another thing here, a Mark V Raider, so we'll probably want to go get that. And here's the other advanced research station, and it also gives us the Spire Starship Mark V, and those are nice. So we're going to get that. And I want to hold off on going after the design backup servers until we find out what ship we're going to get from the advanced research station, particularly given that we've got a limited ship set for this game. So we'll just wait for that. This is another data center that we'll want to hit, since we'll be at least taking this system right next to it. And the Raid Starship Mark V. And this is the Bulletproof Fighter Mark V. Given that it's on a Mark IV planet, I may make an exception and just say, you know what, we're going to skip that. We'll see. And here's another advanced factory. I think we're going to skip that one just because we already have one. Here's another backup design server. Let's see what that one has. And that's the laser Gatling. Well, we already have the laser Gatling. We don't care too much about preventing them from building laser Gatlings. And then this is the fabricator for the Mark V space plane. We'll want to take this because it's going to get us striking distance over here to Aokal, which is the second homeworld. And it's got some different things on it. First of all, one of the guard posts in here appears to be cloaked or otherwise invisible. because I can't see it, and I think it's under a force field. Let me show where, because I can't see. Like, you got this force field out sort of in the middle of nowhere. Usually be closer to one of their buildings. So I think that's the melee guard post. In any case, we've got the same deal as before. We've got a home command station, 2 big force fields, the Exo Galaxy wormhole, and then the Mark III fortress. That's all the same as the other one. But this is the turtle homeworld. And that matters because the turtle tends to defend its planet better, and we're going to definitely see that here. It has a core missile guard post under a force field. That'll be fun. Although these don't have the same... They're not as high a range, and they have different attack multipliers compared to the regular missile guard posts for whatever reason. So it's not quite as much of a pain in that sense, but it launches a missile with pretty good range and 2,000 attack every second. Fearsome long-range, high-damage missiles. We've got 2 of those. We've got 2 of these, which is the Leech Guard post. Now, I specifically turned off reclaiming ships in the setup, but that's what the Leech is. Reclaims enemy ships it kills, so essentially it turns your own ships against you, and we've got 2 of these. Generally, anything that leeches or reclaims is going to be worse than like another guard post or ship of the same stats. Because, again, you can think of it as being double or even more so powerful since it's going to turn your own ships against you. Then we've got the Zenith Bombard Guard Post. Okay, that does long-range bombs, and we do mean long-range. 34,000 range, a little bit farther even than a missile post. So it's going to be firing on us as soon as we come in from here, which is the only place we can come in from. So this thing's going to be firing at us, and the Leech probably also going to be firing at us right when we come in, possibly the missile guard post as well. So we're going to be getting hit with a lot of stuff as soon as we arrive here. And then it's got another 9 Zool spawner. Now all of that is fairly tough and makes this the hardest system in the game for us to deal with. But here's the part that really sucks. The core plasma eye. And eyes are essentially, there's various types. They detect how many ships you have in the system. And they'll do something very bad if you have more than double the AI ships, which is only 90 in this system, which means we can only bring in less than 200 or face these effects. And what are they? Enormously powerful batteries of plasma siege cannons that must be powered directly from the AI's warp grid. AI will only devote that much power when the player ships gang up on the AI overwhelmingly. The only efficient way to kill the eye is by destroying all of the guard posts. So you'll need to do guerrilla-style raids until it dies automatically with the last such guard post. So in other words, basically what it's saying is, you know, keep like 150 to 180 ships in system with the amount they've got, and pound on their enemies that way. Well, the problem with that is that we're going to lose a lot more ships fighting these other powerful guard posts doing that. So you're sort of in a catch-22. And you might say, well, why not just take out the plasma eye itself? Well, we could do that. One, it's going to be within range of the fortress, which has almost 20,000 range and is going to do a whole bunch of damage to us. That's one problem. The second problem is that these have 4 million health. So, you know, and it'll automatically blow up once we take the other guard post down. But if we try to do the, quote, stupid newbie, unquote, attack, and just, look, I'm just going to go after the eye and kill it, well, that's going to take a while. And we're going to have the eye firing its wonderful things at us, which, by the way, is 10 6,000 point attacks, and is actually essentially very comparable to what the fortress can do. They're going to be pounding us, and we can't just take out the fortress first, because it's under 2 really big force fields. So, yeah, this is going to be, compared to every other planet in the game, this is going to be really rough. Now, I have no doubts that we're going to be able to handle it, but it's going to be a doozy. And, of course, they have a Mark II ion cannon in here just for the fun of it. A bunch more stuff got done off screen here, basically because it wasn't really all that interesting. It was kind of tedious, actually. But here's what we've done. We've taken Nilly, Ateo, And we basically neutered Balumboat here, which is where the backup design server and troop accelerator are. And then we've got the Mark V Raider fabricated there. Over here we've got the Mark V regular fighter fabricator, and then we took the final advanced research station here. So all of these were Mark II planets. And this one, Aokal, was particularly a joke. It had one Special Forces guard post under a force field. That's it. That's all that was guarding an advanced research station. That is ridiculous. But again, we are on low difficulty. I also did some more research. In order to deal with all these planets, I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I unlocked the Mark III force field, which is 600k health. It's roughly halfway between the Mark I and Mark II AI force field strength. But it was just to get more force fields. And it's still going to be close to running out here by the time we're done. And then I also researched not just the Mark II, but also the Mark III turrets. And the reason is, you can see our AI progress, we're just about to hit the 2 threshold. In fact, we have 250, and it says 250 hits the Mark II, but we actually haven't quite gotten there yet. It says it's still a 1. We hit a couple more data centers. There was one here, not there anymore. Same with there. So that lowered things a bit. You can see we've got 120 reduction. We've now hit 6 data centers. Otherwise, we'd be up near 400 AI progress. Sort of stagger what I was doing, because we actually started running out of metal, believe it or not, after getting a couple different turret types up at each planet. Not nearly enough metal can be stored to deal with all of that expense at once. So what I did is I would get a couple more planets, and then I would research some more turrets and get them built up everywhere and delete the old ones. And while they were building, I'd grab a couple more planets, etc. So it was just very basic, take the whole fleet in, smash everything type of operation. Not particularly interesting to watch. We do have a moment worth looking at now, because over here in this system, Etoile or whatever, we have 465 Mark II laser Gatlings coming in a reprisal wave, and they're about to hit. I have a fleet of ships that were being built coming in here, and they're going to help out with it. But the basic, why is there so many? Well, the wave comes by strength. It's calculated by strength, and laser Gatlings are very weak each. You can see, 4 attack each. They have a very high ship cap, almost 3 times the normal, so there's a whole bunch of them. However, the tractor beam turrets don't work based on strength. They work based on number of ships. And we've been putting tractor beams around each wormhole to be able to trap about 300. That's not going to get all of them. It's only going to get about 2/3 of them. This is an interesting moment to show off something. If you hit the Z key, there you can see the ranges of everything. That's the missile turrets. That's the flak turret. We've got MLRS and so on. And I always thought that was kind of a cool display. But also, if the Gatlings escape this, like if only about 300 of them get trapped and they just headed straight this way, they could attack our command station. Now, I'm not really worried about them destroying it. 100 and some laser Gatlings will take forever to kill anything. It still is useful to obviously come in here and defend against it. So I'll just wait and see for them to come in. And here we go. Here's all of our new ships that I sent in, about 200 of them. I'm just going to stick them halfway between. They didn't arrive with any too much time to spare. There we go. And they actually aren't going off anywhere. Some of them are moving around a little bit, but they're not trying. They're trying to stay in here and help their fellow ships, which is not going to go too well for them. But you can see that we were getting some ships damaged over here. We lost, it was about 15 ships or so. And obviously those lightning turrets doing a good job. We've got some damage coming here to the flak turret. There goes one of them down. So they did some significant damage, but ultimately we can say goodbye to them. Now I did build a new fleet production center here in Nili when I first came in, and I had to do something a little bit different here, showing us rebuilding the ones that we already lost, because there's too many ship types now that we have. We have too many fleet ships to build them all in one location. So what I did is I simply took a look and built the Mark I fleet ships in one location. And then you could split them up anyway, but this is the way I did it. And then everything else is getting built here. This is the Mark IV, the Mark V, Mark II, III Raptors. So basically everything up here and all the Mark Vs at the top. And this is also a Mark V, the Raider that we got. All of those are being built there. Now, as far as our new ships go, we got the Mark V fighter. Okay, we know about that. See, I neglected that. I missed something. So let's go and add the Mark V fighter. And we'll want to get those built, obviously, to add to our fleet. But then we've got the Raider, fast ship that can bypass mines and tractor beams. Speed of 70, which, you know, we compare that to the fighter. It's faster than the fighter. It's not as fast as a Raptor. Good against artillery and light ships. Not a particularly strong attack, but a fast fire rate. And moderate range. So, you know, it's a pretty good ship. And obviously, Mark V anything is very nice. Then we also got the MLRS. That was from one of the advanced research stations. And this is kind of similar to the missile frigate. Where's the frigate? There it is. Both have the same speed. The missile frigate shoots one missile for 48 damage every 10 seconds. And this thing, every 12 seconds, shoots 16 8-damage missiles. So a bunch of rockets that are not nearly as powerful, but the overall damage is better. Good against light, neutron, swarmer, and ultralight. Small bonus there. And doesn't get quite as many bonuses as the missile frigate does. So overall, I would take the MLRS over the missile frigate. We can't build quite as many of them. And then we also got the electric shuttle. Now, of course, you already have the Mark V electric shuttle, and that's the lightning attack. Small numbers of them, but they're good against big groups of the enemy. But we got the Mark I version of that. That was what we got from the other advanced. Okay, so where are we headed next? Well, now that we have all the advanced research stations, we can decide what to do with the backup design servers. We've got the one over there that has the plane. And then this one over here has the laser Gatling. Well, we already have the laser Gatling. We don't need that one. We could potentially hack it to disrupt the enemy, but I don't really care about doing that. So I think we just take the space plane. From here, by the way, we also did get the Spire Starship Mark V. And let's take a look at that, because I think I had it building. Okay, no, I hadn't built it yet. But if you take a look at this, it requires 1.5 million metal, which is over half, just over half what we can store. And that's ridiculous. It also has 1.1 million health, and its main gun can do 24,000 damage once per second. I mean, that's just insane. So, this thing, I mean, against whatever enemy it points it at, they're going to have a hard time living, obviously. Anytime we want to take down a hardened target, this is a heck of a thing to put in there. Might be the single most powerful ship that's available in our current setup. I'm going to guess it probably. It's going to take forever to build, cost 20k energy, that's fine. We'll put that into it, no questions asked. And then I think I'm going to bypass these two, the Bulletproof Fighter and the Raid Starship Mark V. We could go get them, I just don't think they're worth the trouble. You know, similar to the decision I made up here with the autocannon. Just probably not worth the trouble, and our AI progress is high enough, our fleet is big enough, shouldn't be an issue. So we don't really have that much to do. I want to hack to get the plane. We're probably going to want to do some more research as we gather more, and then we want to hit here. And we'll get the plane Mark V there, and that'll get us within range of the enemy homeworld. So it's not going to be very long at all. Next update, or the one after it, will definitely have us start hitting the enemy homeworlds, and we'll see how that goes. Until then, though, thanks for watching as always. We'll be back soon with more AI War Fleet Command.